In his last video, this troubled Star Citizen YouTuber made a throwaway line about a character he met in-game, having a quote, DEI hairstyle, end quote. The new DEI hairstyles.
Hello.
While the joke was ambiguous and lacks context, ones of handsome viewers quickly took to the comments section to point out that the line was a dog whistle, using coded language to imply that on the surface, the channel portrays itself by innocently showcasing peak Star Citizen gameplay shenanigans for which you should like and subscribe for, but underneath it all hides a dark and seedy underbelly for propagating internet hate and racism. The face behind Voidy Vids, Soy Dude, who currently lives and works from a garden shed, came out with an apology video mere days later.
Mate. I'm sorry, what?
In his apology, he states that referring to the hairstyle in question as DEI was simply a jab to make fun of the games industry for pandering to groups of people they don't actually care about, because it boils down to artificial checkbox ticking, as well as making fun of clueless gamers knee-jerk labeling absolutely everything as DEI or woke the second anything slightly diverse is represented in a game or movie. All forms of representation are good and should be encouraged, but its execution by companies in modern times is hardly ever authentic. These big corporations don't give a shit about you, your race, your gender, or your sexuality. CIG's new hairstyles are sick though, it wasn't necessarily a jab at them. Soy Boy Dude of Voidy Vids was so distraught by this easily misinterpreted nothing burger, he gave his Maislian character a DEI chin and then carried on with his life and made this below average best damn Star Citizenship review show video of the new RSI Zeus Mk2. Let's big chin. Handsome viewers, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're going off script and we're going to go check out the Zeus Mk2, probably the CL version. Doing things this way is a little bit outside of my comfort zone because yeah, I haven't had the time to sit down and actually play the game properly for a long enough amount of time to get some, the usual epic space adventure footage that we typically do on this channel. So I thought we would do a classic sort of tactical advance inspired ship walkabout because, I'm actually very late to the party in regards to the Zeus Mk2. The CL version is the cargo version, 128 SUs of cargo. I actually want to test this now. I want to see reports or instances of it being incredibly difficult to load. So we're going to try that out for ourselves. I also have not used its tractor beam yet. We did take it out. I think we took Fair's version out to go and do some save Stanton missions the other night. But I've had no time to sit down and actually get some solid Star Citizen sessions in, especially with the PTU and CitizenCon coming up. Just wanted to get this video out before the weekend, and I will drop something at the end of this video. We're obviously going to be doing an awesome sort of watch party here on Voidy Vids, and it'll be twitch.tv/Voidude for the Voidy Vids watch party for CitizenCon this weekend. Looking forward to that. We're going to have Fair and Nerve and Major Star Stuff and the rest of the gang sort of popping in and out the stream during the panels, which I'm incredibly excited for. It's a wonderful time to be a Star Citizen, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot wait. This year will be different. Next year will be different, and the year after that will be different. And yeah, so a little bit outside of my comfort zone, sort of doing videos like this, off script. I suppose it's kind of like streaming. I've been streaming for a while, so it's not totally outside of my comfort zone, but that's important to be outside of your comfort zone every now and then, because that's how human beings tend to grow. For those of you who don't know, I'm very much outside of my comfort zone in real life. My family and I have just moved over to the United Kingdom. We've been here for about 2.5 weeks and we're slowly getting settled. Unfortunately, I will not be physically attending CitizenCon, even though I am in the country that CitizenCon will be taking place in. Up north in Manchester. Yeah, it's not a good time, right? It's not a good time for me to be doing a weekend away from the family and stuff while things are so tumultuous and we're very ill established at the moment. So we'll just be hanging out on Twitch and being a handsome viewer for the CitizenCon stream. And hopefully you guys will join and have a good time with us. We'll be doing bingo and call-ins from viewers during the panel downtimes and stuff like this. But aside from all of that, let's get started with the first classic Voidyvid's Tactical Advance inspired ship walkabout for the Zeus Mk2. It is just a, you know, there's nothing particularly crazy about the ship in terms of like its capabilities. It's just another sort of, you know, what is this? What is the Crusader C2? Crusader C1 sort of scale, right? Sort of size. So it's like, for me, it's between like a Cutlass and a Corsair. You know, maybe more Corsair or Andromeda sort of size. Comes stock with size 4 Omniskis, or Omniskies. I don't actually know how you do the plural version of that word, but as of this patch, your cannons have been severely nerfed, and repeaters are now back where they should be. We've been doing some, you know, a bit of fighting and a bit of messing around with the ship lately, so I learned that the hard way up against Major Star Stuff on stream the other day. The cannons, I think the DPS is alright, but the recharge values are incredibly low. I'm not too sure if that's intentional or unintentional, but for now I believe repeaters are the way to go. So sitting with a, you know, sort of semi-comfortable size 4, right? It's not Corsair, it's not nerfed Corsair levels of DPS from the pilot chair by any stretch, because the Corsair's got dual size 5s now, and then the 2 size 4s, I believe, on the wings. Or was it 4 on the wings? I can't remember. Very professional Star Citizen YouTube content creator, streamer man. Very professional. Cool. So, yeah. In that classical sort of walkabout style, I used to love Tactical Advances videos. He'd walk around and look at every nut and bolt and sort of, you know, inspect things like, don't put your PP in there. That would be bad. That's a crushing hazard. Oh, and then on the underbelly, controlled by the gunner seat, you've got dual size 3s or 2s. Let's actually have a quick look. We'll quickly gear the character up. I might do a quick cut here. Okay, let's have a look here. It is size 3 Panther repeaters. So you've got your dual size 4s pilot controlled with a gunner accessing your 2 size 3s. So I don't think we're getting near sort of Cutlass levels of DPS, right? I think the Cutlass, that's 4 size 3s pilot controlled with a 2 size 2 turret for a gunner. So probably a little bit less than that once all is said and done. One might have to check Urkel for the exact values. Very handy tool if you don't know about Urkel.games. That's ERKUL.games for, you know, testing and playing around with like ship builds and components and stuff like that, which might be even more meaningful now because components actually do some more drastic things. I haven't done much testing myself, but I know Fair and the guys have been doing some sort of level of testing, and we did a little bit of a fight with the Redeemer the other day, and yeah, builds are definitely a thing. So cool, we've got some sick landing gear legs, no wheels, so no running takeoffs type of thing. Let's get rid of global chat there. And I mean, yeah, the underside, it's kind of, I would say, fairly unremarkable. It's a giant Dorito. This is what the underside of a Dorito looks like, particularly if you enjoy charcoal flavored Doritos. I guess that's what it looks like. Cool, what's this? We've got the fuel port. Open that up. I hope we'll be seeing, I wonder, pretty sure there's a fuel access port on the top as well. We'll have a jump on top just now and have a look around. That is indeed one of the coolest things about the ship, which I really appreciate with the Corsair, is that you can actually access the top of the ship via the airlock, which I think is very cool. Whereas in the Corsair it's a lift. We've got some of this stuff here. Caution, danger, extreme heat. Maintenance to be performed by qualified personnel only. That thing is never going to get maintained. There are no qualified personnel in this game. Cool, yeah, so very good stuff. And then there's 2 ways to access the ship from the surface of a planet or a hangar, and that is you've got your ladder over here, which I think it's going to zip me in. There we go. In right into the central sort of area of the ship with airlock access there. Let's go back down. So it's a pity, these ladders you cannot, if you don't own this ship, I do not believe you're getting in through that ladder. Like if you're trying to break into one of these ships, this ladder is probably not going to be the way to do it. I don't think that these animations play for non-party members, which is unfortunate. It's, you know, one less ingress point for dastardly pirates to do their thing. And then obviously we've got the rear cargo ramp, which I want to see, can we break into it? Apparently you can. but I've yet to... Oh, I'm supposed to have a F-55. Whoops, let's go get the F-55 quickly. And we're back. Chris has in fact stolen my F-55, but we've got a FS9 that we can try as well. Let's see how many rounds this take. Does this ramp suffer from Corsair syndrome? Huh. I don't think we're getting into this ramp. Do we have a pistol? We do not. I do not think we can break into this ramp. So there we go. You could just use the button if it's your ship. You don't have to tactically boarding maneuver, assault your way into every ship that you come across in the game. Now, first off the bat, sort of sizable cargo hold, sitting at what, 128 SCU, which I think is a bit of a stretch. We'll definitely try and test it with the Atlas in a second. I'm going to do a bit of a fadey in and out here between the ES and the CL, if we stand just about over here, just to get an idea on how much physically bigger the CL's cargo hold is. And in my opinion, it doesn't seem to be that much bigger. The ES has got 32 SCU and the CL has got 128. It's very cool. We've got some sort of, what would you call it, the mechanisms of the ship visible through glass. I think that's something that they use pretty consistently, well, in a number of places, right? I think you can see the missile bays from inside the cockpit. Cool. Component Bay 3 and Component Bay 2. This stuff is going to become so much more relevant very soon. 4.0 is already in Evo testing. There's been, what, I think a second test has just been done. I don't think it was the most stable thing in the world. I personally have not had the time to try that stuff out yet, but incredibly exciting times. We've got a cooler, we've got a power plant, we've got a jump drive, which hopefully we will all be using very soon. Can we take this stuff out? What is this? A Chaos size 2 jump drive. Wow, that's pretty big. Look at that. How do we get this thing out of here? I think you need the big tractor beam tool, or it just doesn't come out. I'll have to go and grab a big tractor beam tool to test that stuff out. And then over in Component Bay number 3, we have another power plant, another cooler, and the radar, which is pretty sick. Oh, and some relays, right? So apparently, I'm not sure if it's in this build or if it's in the engineering stuff on the Arena Commander. If you take those relays out, they can actually cause your ship to, you know, not work so good. And, yep, nicely placed sort of a fire extinguisher for when we're all in pyro and everybody's igniting and bursting into flames like a Simpsons episode every 5 seconds because of the star. Over here we've got a nice little weapons rack. It's cool to see, you know, I hope so, you know, when they eventually have, what would we call it, like user rights privilege access to the ship, right? So if you're a crewman and not like, you know, a bridge officer or something, or not part of security, maybe you can set your ship to only have security officers, you know, access this panel, right? That to me would make a lot of sense, so that you don't have, you know, some guy who doesn't have a weapon bust onto your ship or sneak aboard your ship, and then he can just casually come and grab your weapons from here. That'd be pretty funny, right? So if this is some kind of like security level, you know, maybe introduce some hacking gameplay if you want to get into the weapons but you don't have the correct access. This is the kind of stuff we want to see in the game one day, man. It's what makes it super exciting and super cool, and it's, you know, lots of little reasons like this is why we all play the games. So I'm really wondering, like, how much of this sort of design aesthetic are we going to start seeing? Probably all of this will be, you know, part of the Polaris sort of coming soon as well. I guess that's IAE this year. I would do it, I guess. So on the starboard side, we've got in the CL version of the Zeus Mk2 a little kitchenette sort of area, I would call it. Little bench, 2-seater. Let's see how well does this stuff work. So if we open up a little compartment here, let's try and place. Wow, that's very cool. I wonder if you fly the ship around, your first force reaction, is it gonna make that like sort of jank out and disappear? Who knows? I hope that this type of stuff becomes like, what's the word? Like, actually, you know, makes gameplay sense, right? Like, if you store stuff in here, just loose like this, and it, you know, won't end up, like, flying around. I know ships like the Pisces and Redeemer have little, like, you know, storage components there, but historically they're all sort of just the items placed there just kind of jank out, right? And that's been a sort of a massive, not a massive, but a point of contention recently with the way that they, you know, display their marketing, and they show your personal hangar with all the stuff that's, you know, sort of well fitted and looks incredible and stuff stacked on tables and stuff, but in reality you do that and 5 seconds later it's all blown to bits all over the place. So we shall see. Cool, so that was a starboard kitchenette. On the left hand side, what do we have? Ooh, it is like an armory and your bunking area, right? I believe the ES version has a little couch here. Highly tactical gameplay couch for all kinds of sick gameplay, and these are lockers, so 3 lockers for 3 crew. This one doesn't seem to work properly. I maybe pressed the button wrong. There we go. 650k micro SCU storage. I don't know what that means. I don't know how much that actually is. I don't do maths. And 3 bunk beds, which more sort of shelf space here. Maybe, you know, a loose helmet, a backpack, that type of stuff. Stuff you wouldn't fit in there, I guess. Who knows? And then we've got the toilet. Shit or shower, classic Star Citizen design toilet in the new RSI interior aesthetic, which is very angular. Not always, but a lot of angles and stuff. Kind of fits the vibe, I guess. You know, I'm not an architect. Go watch Morphologist for more commentary on that. He did a very cool little Zeus review recently. Definitely check it out. And cool, so that's for the back end of the ship. Go up some stairs. What have we got here? Cool, some more engineering stuff. Okay, so this is like, you know, where your engineer would typically spend the most of his time. Very well placed little fire extinguisher. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, and then we've got the airlock, access to the bridge, and these are suit lockers. So you've got 3 personal storage things for each crew member down here, and then you've got your suit lockers, which I can't wait for this tech to come online to see, like, the physicalized nature of our, you know, armor and backpacks and helmets and, you know, kit being stored here. It'll be very interesting to see that. 1, 2, 3. Very cool. I kind of thought, the first time I saw these, I thought that they were like escape pods, and you can like lock yourself in here. Right, this is a great way to stow away in the oh, it's got a button on the inside as well. It's like it's meant for that. Sort of hide, I guess. I don't know. I guess people would see you there. Not a great one. We'll find out at the next jump town if that's a place worth hiding. And then we've got the engineering console, engineering terminal, coming soon. I love that they're starting to add this coming soon type of stuff. You know, arguably that should have actually been done throughout the UIs a lot sooner. But I guess it just gives people that sense of things being less, oh, what is placeholder, what is not placeholder, right? If you just start putting, like, you know, coming soon things on bits and bobs of the ships, people can start to realize the sort of ultimate vision. Anyway, we've got a battery component here. I wonder what that is. Uncertain, obviously to do with the new engineering gameplay. Oh, and a gravity generator. That's cool. And a little relay thingy here. Again, you can do some ship sabotage and engineering gameplay, replacing fuses that blow and put redundancy in. I don't know. I've never actually even touched the engineering gameplay on the Arena Commander thing that ran like a couple of patches ago. I believe it's still in the game, but yeah, kind of cool, kind of cool. And then 2 size 2 shield generators, I believe. What is this? Size 2 Aspis stock shield generators, and that is it in terms of components from this side. Then we've got the airlock. Amazing. I think this is actually so sick. This is very cool. Got your airlock out here. So the reason why I think this is so sick is, you know, especially with, not that Jumptown is the de facto sort of, you know, the baseline thing to compare or, you know, put ships' usefulness against one another, but like, for me personally, in the early days of Jumptown, you'd be able to, like, you know, people would conga line a lot more often. It would be a peaceful Jumptown with everybody taking maze sort of very, very peacefully, one at a time, making lines, and it was, you know, a very exploitable situation, which I think was so much fun. To be able to jump, you know, to get on top of your ship in atmosphere, and then, like, you know, position your ship when you land and then jump onto other people's ships. That was like super fun back in the day. It doesn't really happen these days. Jump towns is always hostile. It's never safe, regardless of what people might tell you. And yeah, we've got the top side of the ship here. I mean, this is just standard for CIG. It is incredible, right? It's their standard, but compared to other, you know, games and level of details and stuff like that, this is really well thought out, very nicely designed. Everything just looks incredible. But this is just how ships are in Star Citizen, right? This is how we fund the game. Go buy yourself a Zeus Mk2, I guess. I'm pretty sure I saw another port for fuel somewhere around here. What is this? It's not that. I don't know. There could have been, but it's probably down there. That's probably where you're going to refuel from your starfarers and stuff like that. Plug in the pump and, you know, get your fuel on. Hopefully that type of gameplay will see more use and relevance in Pyro. We'll see. Hopefully, you know, the dream is to ultimately one day see players sort of, you know, refining their own fuel, making you know, various concoctions of different fuel efficiency types and stuff like this. So it would be very cool. And all the way in the front here, we finally have the bridge. Another shield generator, so that is, what, 3 size 2 shield generators so far. Life support coming soon. Avionics, I guess, coming soon. That'll probably be with the, what do you call it again? Atmospheric flight surfaces, flight handling surfaces, if that's what they called it. And then a weapon rack. That's very cool. Hopefully with some kind of lock on it eventually in the future. Nice space for a railgun here. 3 weapons, 3 pistols, 3 utility. Very cool. Let's have a look how that works. Yeah, so that's utility, that's pistols. Ooh, nice and smooth. Let's go. Yeah, this patch has been a little bit unstable lately. The build that dropped yesterday, I wanted to do this little ship walkabout then, but could not get the game to run for longer than 5 minutes before we had server errors and stuff. So on the bridge, another fire extinguisher. That's super handy. Very tactically placed for the fires we're about to experience in the next couple of months, hopefully. Co-pilot seat, gunner seat, and the pilot seat on what I would call the flight deck or the bridge, right? I think a ship's got to be over a certain size to technically call a bridge a bridge. This is probably more like a flight deck. You can control the ship from the co-pilot seat, the gunner seat. So this is also something I realized when you're playing Star Citizen nowadays, especially as a gunner. Excuse me, you get this control. Like, I've always had an issue with the actual feeling of turret gameplay in Star Citizen. It's never really felt great. But then again, even you go and play like games like Battlefield, turret gameplay is always a bit rough, I guess, especially, well, no. If you're in a helicopter in Battlefield, it's typically pretty good. But, you know, even being a gunner in like a Jeep or a tank or something can sometimes be a bit rough. But now with this gimbal mode, which is not working, we're probably in the wrong... It's probably because we're in nav mode. But if you enter gimbal mode in the turret, I'll show you later in the video, it is a fantastic experience. And as of right now, I'm not too sure what the trade-off is for entering gimbal mode. It might still be a slightly decreased attack fire rate. So, yeah. And another interesting thing now with the new MFDs, if somebody's in this chair... Oh, bit of lag there. If somebody's in this chair, you can literally come and, like, power stuff off and, you know, mess around with the pilot and co-pilot and stuff. So it leaves some room for epic sabotage gameplay, which I think is, I mean, that's just awesome, right? It's making things feel a little bit more systemic, making things feel a little bit less like, oh, you know, a little bit less gamey, right? Which is always cool. There we go. So what we're going to do now quickly is turn the engines on. Give us some power there. Wow, thank you, computer man. He's just telling us all the stats, which is great. We're going to pick up a little bit over here, and we're going to actually just try and load this cargo hold to see how feasible is it to actually make use of the advertised 128 SCU. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Let's go back here, do one of these, power that down. So overall, I mean, this is a ship without any new gameplay, so what it has going for it, in my opinion, what makes this like a standout ship worth the in-game purchase, I don't really, you know, advocate or buy ships out of game anymore. I'll put my money into Star Citizen, I'm done now. But if you're interested in spending money on Star Citizen, it's a great sort of all-purpose, well, not all-purpose, but like, you know, a ship with the cargo hold and a nice layout and a nice interior, and oh, the tractor beam, let's quickly go and check. Oh wait, what we'll do is we'll load up the cargo and then we'll get the tractor beam out. But as a whole, you know, it's fitting the same role as like a Cutlass, or the same role as like a Corsair, the same role as an Andromeda, right? Constellation Andromeda. Sizable ship, sizable cargo hold, reasonably fast, right? I think it gets off to about 1,000 meters per second. So a nice in-between of the Andromedas and the Mercury Star Runner sort of area, although the Mercury Star Runner has the data running stuff, so you know, it's a little slightly more specialized. I cannot remember the cargo capacity of the MSR. I wonder if this is bigger. However, it doesn't matter if you can't make use of all the space. So let's have a little test here. What we'll actually do, I'm going to cut here. We're going to grab an Atlas quickly. Unfortunately, this particular PTU build was so unstable during this walkabout that I was unable to complete my high-effort off-script ship review. So we're on It's Not Fair's disgusting Zeus Mk2 now, and as you know, all good ships have a name, so I decided to call this one... I'm not actually going to use this footage for the video because the skin is horrible, bro. And here are some facts you probably know or didn't know about the Zeus. The Zeus Mk2 has been released after the Zeus Mk1, which was the first ship to use a quantum drive and travel 1/100th the speed of light. This is not a lore channel though, so go watch the Astropub or something for actual valuable information on Zeus lore. It only takes 17 shots to kill a Hornet with the nerfed size 4 Omniski skies. Zeus is the king of the ancient Greek pantheon, ruling from atop Mount Olympus, and is known as the god of the sky, lightning, thunder, and rain. And he was also the god of law and order, but we get a tier 3 crime stat for destroying this Hornet I honestly thought was an unresponsive NPC anyway. You shouldn't stand here during quantum travel. Man, I missed this, guys. This is awesome hanging out with you guys, playing some Star Citizen, man. It's great. What's up, Major Star Stuff? How you doing, bro? Oh,
Can't see. Wait, did you not think that went through at all?
And maximizing the 128 SCU cargo hold on the CL is probably not going to happen easily in a real in-game scenario. I could barely fit 112 SCU during the Save Stanton mission, which ultimately failed because Stanton doesn't really want to be saved anyway.
I would love to see how Voidy packs his car.
Bro, you should have seen the Uber driver's look on his face when we had like 13 fucking bags of luggage. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, dude, don't worry, bro, I play Star Citizen. And then the first thing we did when we got to fucking England was do the most South African thing ever and like overpack a fucking car with shit and people. There we go, sorted. And finally, I will showcase right now, hands down, one of the most insanely epic things you can do with the RSI Zeus that no other ship can do. This nugget of sacred Star Citizen gameplay knowledge will change your life. While attempting a tactical ship disembarkation maneuver, we all know it's important when egressing from a starship that the ship's section-to-section binary personal motivators, or doors, open efficiently because time is usually of the essence. Then, and you will not believe this, when you're finally out in space, the ship can actually... Oh well, never mind. Guys, CitizenCon 2954 is less than a day away, and I'll be hosting a watch party on twitch.tv/voidude with known special guests, It's Not Fair and Nerve, as well as known special guest of honor for some reason, Major Star Stuff, as well as other Voidyvid's usual suspects throughout the weekend. Join us as we'll be playing bingo, taking quickfire calls from handsome viewers just like you between panels, and emotionally reacting to everything CitizenCon related over the weekend. We hope hope to see you then. Thank you channel patrons and channel members for all your support. Thinking of pledging to this ludicrous space game? Then use one of the referral codes on screen now for a free 5,000 starting credits. I can only keep making these videos thanks to your support, so if you enjoy my content and want to help keep this channel going, check the links in the description, buy some epic merch, consider the join button below, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/voidude. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around the verse. Cheers.